Hey again, everyone. I hope that you're doing well. I just wanted to check in now that I have read all of the final project part ones that have been submitted thus far. No great title, huh? Um, anyway, I really enjoyed reading your articles about the Pueblo Revolt. I appreciate the way so many of you really got into character as journalists, or also as Tarahumara or even Pueblo people in your approach to writing the article. I think that helped with the way that you evaluated the different perspectives that were provided in the various sources. Of course, the secondary sources, the textbook, as well as those that you've located. And many of you found some excellent sources, a couple that I hadn't seen before. So that is awesome. Most of those tried to present not necessarily an objective perspective, but one that presents various perspectives, right? And so they're thinking about the different sources that are available. They're telling us what the Spaniards were thinking, what the Pueblos were thinking, whereas the primary sources are a bit more limited. And so I think most of you did a very good job thinking about all of that. I tried to be as thorough as I could in the feedback that I left you here in Brightspace. So if you have any questions about that, please don't hesitate to ask. You can always revise and resubmit if you're feeling like you would want to do something to change what you have written and done. I do have an extra credit activity that I want us to do if you're interested. Again, it's extra credit, so you don't have to. But I did not require that you write a headline. A couple of you did. Most of you didn't. And so what I'd like you to do in the activity feed on the landing page, and I'll start a post there so you can just reply. And the activity feed, if you remember on the course landing page, if you scroll all the way to the bottom past the content browser section that has all the modules as little thumbnails, at the very bottom there's a Facebook feed kind of thing that only we can access in our class. So I'll start a post there. What I'd like you to do is try to write a headline for yours. You don't need to share your whole article there unless you want to. You could. But I think it would be interesting for us to try to think about the art, we'll call it, of writing a headline, because so many things now are clickbait. So they're meant to be provocative to get you to click on it and go to read it. The problem with those is that the headline often doesn't actually relate, or it doesn't quite correspond to what the article is. It's meant to grab attention more than to describe what the article's about. So what I would like you to do here is to, I'm thinking about this. I guess you could go one of two ways and just tell us which way you tried. So if you want, you could write a clickbaity article, headline. So just write the headline. Remember, headlines are short and punchy. It wouldn't even be a complete sentence. It's just something to grab attention so that the readers of the newspaper will know what the articles are about. I mean, that's the original intention, or trying to get people to click on them in the digital age. So you can either do one that is meant to be clickbaity, and there's sort of a science to that, I think. Something that would draw attention of people to want to click on that thing. Or you can do a headline that's really meant to just be informative, right? That actually presents in a very short way what the main point of your article is. And so if you want to try that, write the headline, post it in that activity feed, and let us know in parentheses whether or not you were trying to do clickbait or informative. And hopefully we'll have some interaction there, because I think that would be kind of interesting, especially because that might get us more interested in reading each other's work. And I know Brightspace is not great for that. I had thought about having you submit these to a platform called Medium, which is sort of like a digital newspaper that we could all write to, but I didn't want to add one more piece of technology for you to try to learn in the 2 weeks we're together, so I didn't do it. But that would have allowed us to read what one another had written. And I think that might be kind of interesting and informative too, for its own reasons. But anyway, let's do the headline thing for extra credit. If you have questions, let me know, and I will talk to you again soon.